Greetings once again, viewers. Well, I wanted to thank Frank for sending me this article. Super interesting. If any of you have interesting news, insider bits, articles, please email me at chukesoutdoor@outlook.com. But let's jump into this. I want to give credit to ammoland.com. Great bunch of guys there. They've done several studies on the effectiveness of handguns versus bears out in the wild, mostly by hunters, it looks like, some hikers and stuff. But it all started in 2016 where it was an argument on the internet where somebody was saying, oh, you don't know that handguns make a difference, bear spray is better, blah, blah, blah. And so they started taking a look at every case that they could document. Many of the cases they interviewed the individuals themselves, and there were several updates. I'm taking this from the last update in April of 2022 where they added like 20 more cases. Originally, there was 170 documented cases, and they found handguns 98% effective. Everything from 22 long rifle to 500 Smith & Wesson. What interested me was there was tons of cases from Scandinavia of these bear attacks that I typically don't read about. I read about them in Montana and Alaska and Wyoming. So that was pretty interesting. And they tallied up the information in a really interesting way. We'll go over the update at the very end. The original one was in June 21st, 2021. And what I thought was interesting, there was a whole, like the Scandinavian cases and a whole bunch of 40 cal cases. 40 Smith & Wesson used effectively against even brown bear. And I'm a big fan of the 40 Smith & Wesson. I got my SIG P229 here. And I thought that was great because I've always thought it was a good weapon. And people always dog me and say, oh, you think handguns are the best defense against bears. I don't. Obviously, a shotgun and a hunting rifle is way better. 45-70, 12 gauge with slugs, that's what I've always said is the best. But we have this study that shows if you're out hiking or all you have is a handgun, all these cases, the handguns have been 98% effective. Now, in some of these cases, all the guys did is fire a warning shot, and it scared the bear away. I personally have done that with both a 44 Magnum and a 357 Magnum, where a brown bear was kind of coming at me. I fired into the ground or into the air, and it scared it away. A lot of the times, that's all you need. So that happened in some of these cases. So they did this update of 20 more cases, and we are going to talk about 13 of these cases and what happened, and then talk about some data. But what I like about this is they say it was a handgun. It was documented that it was confirmed a handgun was used, and sometimes, not all the time, they tell what model of handgun and even barrel length, or tell you if it's a subcompact or not. So really cool. I really enjoyed hearing what firearms these people use. So let's go into these latest editions. And like I said, big shout out to ammoland.com. They say readers are advised to consider each individual case and reach their own conclusions. I agree. Okay, so the first one, spring of 1961, Washington State, a 357 Magnum was used against a black bear. The sow with black bear charged, single shot, top center of nose. It skidded to a halt at the feet of the individual. It was instantly killed. Guy was a professional bear hunter and had been severely mauled 2 times in his life. Both times he did not have his 357 revolver with him, so he was very happy he had it this time. I'm a big fan of the 357 revolver. I got my Smith & Wesson 686. I think it's a great choice if that's all you got. It's got 7 shots. So let's go on to the second case, March 5th, 2000. This is in Sweden. Polar bear, of all things. 44 Magnum was used. This guy's name was Goran. He was being kind of messed with and stalked by this polar bear, and he risked getting his hands frostbit because he had his hands out for 30 minutes just waiting for the perfect shot. And when the bear got close enough, he took it out in one shot. 44 Magnum, big fan of it. I've got my 454 Ruger here, but big fan of the 44 Magnum too. I am getting one in about a week, so excited about that. Okay, our third case, August 18th, 2002. Western Talkeetna Mountains here in Alaska. Grizzly bear, 10 millimeter. All right, now we're talking my language here. This is a custom built long slide 10 millimeter 1911, had an 8-round magazine. This guy had a family member put together long slide 1911 chambered in 10 millimeter for him. He was charged by a bear, or the bear approached him. He shot it 6 times to scare the bear. He had 2 shots left. The bear was quartered away coming at him. He blew out the rear section of the bear's ribs. It ran off. They found it barely alive the next day. It was like its head was floating by a beaver pond, I think, just barely living. They killed it with a rifle. So really interesting story. Number 4, October 2010. This was in Boulder Basin, Wyoming. Grizzly bear attack, 44 Magnum. So here we go. It was loaded with 44 special birdshot though. So, and out of a Ruger. They did say it was a Ruger 44 Magnum. These guys were on horseback, charge at close range, fired, it ran off. Unsure if it was injured, but it did do the job and kept them alive. So interesting story. Number 5, September 2011, 38 Special. This was in Wyoming. It was a grizzly bear. They had a 38 Special. It sounds like 2 bow hunters. One fell down. The grizzly grabbed his ankle. The other guy fired 2 shots. It let go and went at him. The 3rd shot killed the bear. 6 feet or less, all the shots were fired. But killed it with 1 shot with 357 Magnum. Or no, sorry, 38 Special. Crazy. All right, number 6, September 2012, East Forks, Wyoming. This is a grizzly bear, 44 Magnum, and they did say it was a Taurus revolver chambered in 44 Magnum. Again, elk hunters, it seems to be a theme in Wyoming and Montana. So they ran into grizzly, sow, and cubs, tried to back up, was charged, fired 4 times. With the 44 Magnum, bear dropped 3 yards away. Investigators confirmed they found 3 bullet wounds, and one of them was through the heart. So there you go, 44 Magnum. Number 7, September 2012, Venus Creek, Wyoming, 45 Long Colt. Very cool, a revolver and 45 Long Colt grizzly bear. So again, elk archery hunters. They had an elk carcass nearby. A sow charged them from 25 yards away. Guy dropped to 1 knee, made a 12-yard shot, missed, fired again at 8 yards. It hit the bear, stopped it, then charged again. 3 more shots, hit the bear, it spun around. It walked back. This is a weird story. It walked back and started shaking one of its cubs and broke its back. They found it the next day. The cub was killed. The bear was just so angry it killed its own cub. So kind of a sad story. But the 45 Long Colt worked. So number 8, September 2014, Wind River, Wyoming. This is a grizzly bear. I believe this time 3 different hunters. One had a 45 ACP, one had a 44 Magnum, and one had a 9 millimeter. The lead hunter had the 45 ACP, so kind of interesting. He was charged. The bear grabbed the lead hunter by the leg. The 2 others shot at the bear. The lead hunter put the 45 against the bear's head and shot. It went limp. He got away, but then it started moving again. They all just opened up on it and it died. So that's kind of interesting because when I've killed wounded bears that I've shot with a hunting rifle, both times it took me 2 shots in the head with a 10 millimeter to put it down. Those were with extreme penetrators. So very interesting story. Some bears are just really tough. Number 9, May 2016, Black Mountain, Wyoming. This is a grizzly bear, 10 millimeter. So a shed hunter was charged by a sow with cubs. He shot several warning shots at the sow's feet, emptied his pistol on the bear. It ran past him, was never found. The rain washed away any signs of blood. So he never knew if he killed the bear or not. Could have just wounded it. Interesting. Happens sometimes. Number 10, May 2016, Bear Creek, Wyoming. Grizzly bear, 40 cal, Springfield subcompact. So 40 cal with a short barrel. It had 1 magazine with 9 rounds and 1 magazine with 10 rounds. It was a brand new unfired pistol. The guy didn't have it chambered. That was a mistake, but they ran into a sow. He chambered it. The sow charged, started running at him from 30 yards. He started shooting, got behind a tree, unloaded on the bear. It went down 5 yards away. He fired all shots. He unloaded, emptied the pistol. They confirmed that, and it did kill a sow grizzly bear, 40 cal. I love 40 cal, and it can do the job. So not as good as 10 millimeter, obviously, but it can work. Number 11, September 2016, in East, Montana, grizzly bear. The guy had bear spray, and a Ruger Super Blackhawk 44 Magnum. He didn't end up using the bear spray. I'm glad. It was a guide with 3 clients, charged by a sow, fired 4 shots. He believed 2 might have hit. Bear ran away, was never found. Very interesting story. Number 12, October 2016, near Cody, Wyoming, grizzly bear, 44 Magnums. So these elk hunters killed a deer and an elk. They had horses, but they were walking the horses. They were on foot. A bear charged them. Both fired their 44s. One guy shot, other guy, he shot once, other guy shot twice. Bear ran off. One of the hunters had been mauled before and had $30,000 worth of medical bills. So he was glad he had his Ruger 44 Magnum with him that time. May 2020, Seville, Tennessee, black bear, 9 millimeter. This guy was approached by a black bear. He shot at it like several times. He shot at the ground to scare it away. Didn't realize he hit it. Found it behind the house the next day, dead. So the 9 millimeter did the trick on a black bear there. So of all the cases in the update, they all included a single known pistol caliber, 15 of them. So 9 millimeter, 7 documented cases, all successful. 38 special, 4 documented cases, 3 successful, 1 failure. 357 Magnum, 9 documented cases, 8 successful, 1 failure. 40 Smith & Wesson, 5 documented cases, all successful. Love it. 10 millimeter, 6 documented cases, all successful. Maybe having those extra rounds makes a difference. And, semi-auto with the magazine. 44 Magnum, 37 documented cases, all successful. 45 Long Colt, 2 cases, successful. They reached a conclusion that caliber is less important than your willingness to shoot, and I would also say shot placement. So that really makes me excited that I'm getting a 44 Magnum next week. I will be doing some testing with it. I think semi-autos are great, and don't discount a 40 Smith & Wesson if that's all you got. Please comment below. I'd like a big shout out to ammoland.com. I'll put the actual updated article in the comments and pin it. Let me know what you guys think. I got Patron links below too. Please become a patron if you can. Help out the channel. And thanks for tuning in. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10 millimeter. Shoots outdoor adventures. Watch you all die every time.